In this corner.
Fuck.
What's good?
What's up,
people? How y'all feeling?
I love that viewer discretion.
I
love that y'all put a viewer discretion on here because things get wild out here, and you guys had to warn people. That one's
you
fucking
gotta
fire.
warn folks.
That's
you
fire,
gotta warn
man.
folks. Yeah, gotta warn folks. All right, y'all. You already know what we are about. This is Hard in the Fight. My name is Tunde. I'm here with Prince KT, and we gonna be talking about some things. But before we get into the things that we're talking about,
we're talking about big things too.
We talking about big things pop in. Before we even get into that, there's a couple of things. So I got to do some house cleaning, some housekeeping. I gotta talk to y'all a little bit. Let me look at. Is this the camera? Is this the camera? What are y'all doing?
Where mine's at?
Right. What are y'all doing? We are at 756 subscribers. This is the Heart in the Fight page. We're trying to get to 1,000. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you are watching this and you're not subscribed to the Heart in the Fight page, you know what? I'm setting up a beef match. Hey, Alex Martin, set me up a beef match with everybody who's not subscribed right now. Let's do it.
If you aren't subscribed to this page, I just want you to go in your room, sit in the dark for a little bit, and think to yourself, why the fuck am I so stupid? Because you're pretty dumb if you ain't subscribed to this page and you like Street Beefs and you subscribed or you like the page, but you ain't watching these episodes, man. You better get a life and get the heart in the fight. Come over here and watch this shit.
Get over here and watch this motherfucker. See, look, right. This is why we put the advisory. That's exactly why we put the advisory.
Yeah, because we got to. Hey, people know what they're getting into, man. People know what they're getting into.
Hey, I want to say shout out to Streetbeefs Westcoast main page. Like Alex and Martin gave us the password. So we're actually simultaneously live on Hard in the Fights page, but then also on Streetbeefs Westcoast. For everybody on Streetbeefs West Coast, I won't be able to elevate your comment. So the thing is, if you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube at the Heart in the Fight page, what we can do is highlight your comment. And so this is why you're subscribing. This is why you should subscribe to the Heart in the Fight page. You get moments where you say stuff and we elevate it. We put it to the forefront. But if you're watching from the Streetbeefs West Coast page, you won't be able to. We still want you here. We still appreciate you viewing, but we just won't have as much fun. Street Beefs
all day long. You feel me? Streetbeefs West Coast. Nah, man. If you guys are subscribed to this page and you comment on here, I'm telling you right now, I'm on a whole nother podcast, but these guys right here, they interact with the comment section like no other people. I can't do it. I sit there on KT Tuesday and try to look at all y'all comments, and I can't do it. So these guys right here are really doing a magnificent job. Whatever I'm trying to say, magnificent job with what they're doing.
Hey, so Martin, Alex, I hope y'all are paying attention. Set up a beef match between me and Sarisa. Me and
Today.
Sarisa, we about to fight right now. We about to fight. What's going on
the hood?
On the hood. So before we even get into the show, I want to highlight some things. So, it's the end of the year. What do people like to do at the end of the year, Prince KT?
Hey, man, people like to win at the end of the year, honestly. But at the end of the year, they like to recap their year. They like to make goals for the next year. They like to see where they're at. People at the end of the year, they like the end of the year. We should just say that before I get too vivid in here.
Hey, no, you're right, man. We make lists.
Right.
We're in the season of making lists, man. So sooner or later, you're going to see these blogs talk about the best albums of the year, best songs of the year, best breakdance move of the year, best podcast host of the year. I'm hoping that I get there. And
I'm sorry, but I'm a podcast host, so it's gonna be hard to win that one.
You know what, brother? I'm gonna get that to you, man, because I seen your stuff and I'm a fan.
I'm just pretty, bro. It just works.
And so here at Heart in the Fight, man. Here at Heart in the Fight. Okay, cool. Warrior Boxing is asking for Heart in the Fight's link in the Streetbeefs West Coast chat. We're gonna get that to you, brother. Here at Heart in the Fight on December 26th, and I want to say this because I know people are going to see this and be like, it says the 27th. On December 26th, we're going to have our second annual Heart in the Fight award show.
Hey, what was that date again?
December 26th, Heart in the Fight award show.
There you go. There you go. Y'all should know now.
Let me type it in the chat because just in case people are December. How do you spell December?
December.
December 26th. Heart in the Fight is going to have our award show live. And so at this current moment, we are putting in our votes, or people are putting in their votes for different categories. We're hoping that people come through, or we're hoping to have all of the stuff tabulated and dated and ready to go by the 20. Well, we will. And so it's going to be controversial, man. The last time we put out a list, everybody was trying to fight me and Daniel. Last time Heart in the Fight put out a list, they was trying to fight us.
Hey, listen, man. These guys didn't have the amount of judging they have this year. So we can put out a list this year, and we have the right amount of judges from all places judging. So if you want to be mad at these two, you looking up at the wrong tree, because be mad at me. I chose you. I told them all you suck.
Hey, shout out to Sunshine. Sunshine is an amazing contributor to Heart in the Fight, and so I just want to make sure I give some time and highlight Sunshine.
Contributor to everything.
I feel like Sunshine's job. Sunshine is a judge. Sunshine is a judge. She said, "Fight me." Hey, look. Hey, this is the
problem. Get down with it.
This is the Beef Fight episode. Thank you for tuning in to Heart in the Fight Beef Fight episode, where me, Prince KT, and Sunshine are calling out everybody who is not subscribed or has an issue with our award show results. So let me know, and you feel me?
You can catch the purple gloves. Catch the purple gloves.
You can catch these knuckles. You can hold these knuckles for me. Holding. But yeah, so the purpose of the show. Why are we here? KT, can you tell us a little bit about the history of this award that they're giving away? The West Coast.
I mean, we're talking about the West Coast Sandbox champion. We're talking about the most dominant person to ever hit this yard. We're not talking about the person that came out here, got the most knockouts. We're talking about the person that said, I'm going to take this yard and ain't nobody going to take it from me. I'm talking about the person nobody wants to fight. I'm talking about the person that is scary when he walks into the backyard. The person getting pictures from other fighters. That's what we're here today for. The Sandbox champion. That's what we're here today for.
The Sandbox champion. You feel me? And so how long ago did Alex and Martin announce this?
I'm going to say it was about 3 months ago, right? It's been a couple months.
Yep. And we've had this conversation. It's been floating around, and I'm about to bring somebody in too. This is gonna be pretty hilarious. So we got another co-host on with us to contribute to this conversation. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, people who were in listening range, welcome. Free smoke.
Free smoke today, free smoke tomorrow.
That ain't what my name says, bro. That ain't what my name says. Come on now.
Oh man, who put that on there? I should have done that. That was smart. I should have done that.
That was definitely smart. This dude, Free Smoke, came in with a plan. He said, "You know what? This is what I'm doing. This is my intention today."
Man, you know what I'm saying? I got to make a statement right now.
Hey, can I change my name?
Right
no. Can I change my name?
Can I change my name? Let's see.
Where you at, Free Smoke?
Shit, I'm at work, bro. I got break in like an hour, but I'm taking like my little own break right now to do this.
Yeah. Hiding in the basement. Huh?
You know, man. Post it up.
Yeah. Free Smoke is free jokes today. Diesel.
Hey, that's funny. Diesel is hilarious.
Hey.
Yeah, he's a pretty funny dude.
Free jokes.
Just because I'm in contention, brother. We ain't got to be mad, brother.
All right, and so let's have this conversation. Prince KT, I don't know if you noticed, I changed the name. So
yeah, the guy who didn't change his name.
The guy who didn't change his name. So Free Smoke, KT, when you think of Sandbox champion, what comes to mind?
Man, I already said it. Most dominant, most scary, the motherfucker that made his fucking stepped his foot in the ring, and since then has not stepped his foot out. Every event, you're thinking about the man.
Free Smoke, it's on you.
Shit, I respect it. Shit, if we going off that, I don't know if it's supposed to be like based off the year or like what, or like just the Sandbox since it's been started.
Yeah, no, this year.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's kind of been kind of all over the place. Kind of people having their own kind of opinions on what it should be and like how or like who it should be given to. So I'm just trying to see, you know, because in my opinion, I feel like it should be based off the year. And so if we're going based off the year and what people did in the Sandbox, I would have to say Nasty Native for me right now.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I'm on the same page with you. If we're voting right now, I'm talking about Nasty Native. Every time I say the most scary man, the person everybody's talking about, the most dominant, stepped his foot in the ring, and that's this year. That's this year. This man came in this year and made a statement and said, listen, I got 2 belts on my shoulders. Try to take it from me. Actually, have one, motherfuckers. I don't give a shit.
He gave a belt back. Bro said, look, I don't even want this belt. Hold it.
Yeah.
619. You see what 619
basically, and so I mean, so I went ahead and looked back at like people that like fought and shit this year in the Sandbox and like who got the most wins and whatever. And so I think it was Nasty Native was 2-0. I think he had 2 finishes or 1 finish or whatever it was. They had me with 3. They had me 3-0, 2 finishes, 1 draw. They had Coyote in there. I think he was 2-0 on the year. They had a few other cats too. Like I said, there's a few other people that be on there. Like if we're talking for the year, 619 probably be on there for the year. You know, just a few, but that's how I'm basing it off is based off the year. So
okay, so help me understand, because when I think of Sandbox champion, right, there is a level of dominance that comes with that, but I also think about a level of superstardom.
Well,
right?
listen,
right. So we have 619, and I think that him being from the West Coast and being a part of the conversation that catapulted the West Coast and honestly put the West Coast on the scene, it can't be denied. We can't look over the fact that like 619 has been putting us in conversation in a lot of different branches.
Right. Well, we can, because Nasty Native went out to the freaking East Coast and nobody wanted to fight him there. 619 went out there and got a loss for the West Coast. So we can kind of – no, I'm just kidding. Right? I'm playing games a little bit.
Oh, shit.
A little bit.
I'm just playing. But no, if we're going to talk about superstardom, I don't believe that establishes the type of dominance that we're seeing in the Sandbox from like Nasty Native. This man went in there and took Shinigami to the Shadow Realm himself and fucking – you know, like I'm telling you, this man Nasty Native is doing big things in that ring. He's taking on Dub. He's taking on big fighters, and he pretty much said, anybody that wants to smoke, come get it. But you ain't got it for me, you know. And he's going pro. He's making all his right steps. He stomped the yard in the as far as this year goes in the Sandbox.
He did.
But
he did.
If we're talking about superstardom, I would have been
619.
If we talking about superstardom, I would have been in there weeks ago, but we ain't talking about superstars. I'm a superstar.
Weeks ago.
Yeah, we ain't talking about superstars. We're talking about people that go out there and they're scary to the next opponent.
619. How many wins 619 got in the Sandbox this year?
619 is dominant.
619 off top.
619 watching, so he'll probably comment in a second.
619.
But you said 619 was dominant in there. And I think 619 beat Golden Arms clearly as hell. But then remember that big debate everybody had, did he really win? You know, was Golden Arms really the winner? You know what I'm saying? So does that really translate to a dominant performance? Right. If you had people guessing it.
So now we got to go to dominant on dominant.
Because 619 be dominating everybody, you know, but that's just keeping it real at the same time.
If we go dominant on dominant, whose dominance is more violent at that point? Because 619 does dominate everybody, right? But Nasty Native dominates everybody too, and he does it in way faster fashion. Except if it was like the Dub fight where he gets
finishes, bro. He gets finishes. Nasty Native is finishing.
He does.
Coyote.
If we're talking about the Sandbox, though,
I'd be finishing.
this dude Free Smoke steady trying to sneak himself in here. Hey, there's somebody else I want to sneak up in this.
I got you, bro.
If we're talking about the Sandbox in 619, we're only talking about the
what I missed.
Oh man, you missed a bunch. It's all right. Nobody missed you. No, I'm just kidding. What's up, bro?
That's a lie.
Battleborn.
That's a lie.
No, but if we're talking
What's going
about
on?
619, bro, we're talking about Golden Arm, Silas, and Waka Lobster. That's his 3 Sandbox fights. So you got to judge those.
Yep.
Those are his Sandbox fights.
And so, where are we placing those fighters? Are those top contenders? Are those kind of contenders? What are we saying about them?
Well, if you look at Waka Lobster's 185. 619 supposed to dominate that fight. If you look at Silas, way less experience. 619 supposed to dominate that fight. If we look back at Golden Arms, very controversial fight. I had to do a whole punch count. I still got the paper here just in case we got to go back one day and say, listen, I did this whole punch count. So that was a controversial fight. So when we're talking about dominance, you got Nasty Native that has 3 dominant wins in the Sandbox.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. Also, you made a good point about Walk Lobster too, bro. Because you got to think about it this way: Walk Lobster, when he fought 619, he went all rounds with them, right? And he had a weight disadvantage on top of that. You guys got to play. I mean, come on. That to me is crazy to stand up to a guy that's just 10 times your size and just outlast him for like 5 rounds. I mean, come on, bro.
I mean,
he lost the fight, but
we got Nasty Native 11 months ago. So this makes the year. 11 months ago, he got coup d'etat, and then he has Shinigami, and then he has also Dub was only 2 months ago. Oh, they only posted that 2 months ago or something. But yeah, all those fights were within the year. That's 3 dominant wins within this year and a championship, 2 championship belts.
So before we
he
continue,
did go to.
Before we continue, because I want to pause right here because Bushido's saying some pretty hot stuff. So again, let me let the people at Streetbeefs West Coast know we appreciate you tuning in, but we cannot elevate your comments if you're tuning in from the Streetbeefs West Coast portion. It's just the way that this works. We can only elevate the people that are watching it on Heart in the Fight. So I apologize, but if you want to have your comment highlighted, come check us out on Heart in the Fight. So Bushido is saying, close your eyes, picture the sandbox, the heat, the sand, the sweat, the blood. Now, which warrior comes to mind?
Feels like home.
I do this every night.
But for this year.
Bro said I do this every night. That's kind of interesting.
It's Prince KT. No, I'm just kidding. No, Nasty Native, man.
Like
he put that mask on. Yeah, he got that mask on. His ring intro. Just his ring intro in general is a scary thing, man. Venom Black tried to take pages out of his book with some face makeup and everything and some feathers in the hair. I mean, Nasty Native's a scary dude, bro. And whenever he posts a training video, you best believe there's 20 people in there watching to see what he's doing and to pick up on his training. He's not only a dominant fighter, he's an example for the rest of the fighters in this whole organization.
Okay, so are we making this? Are we making this like black and white, just sandbox? You know what I'm saying? Not fucking, like how you impact people out of the sandbox.
I mean, that's what I was trying to talk about.
Like, what are we doing?
Well,
I feel like people
that's what
are
I was
like
trying to
grabbing
talk
from
about.
a whole different like places and shit.
Because if we're talking Cali fights too, then you got to put 619 versus Canadian and all that.
Cali fights. We're not
Yeah.
talking Cali fights, because then it would be just street beefs.
Yeah, it'd be Streetbeefs West Coast champ at that point.
So what look,
That's
how
Streetbender.
unoriginal is this boy? How unoriginal
this is my take. This is my take real quick on what you guys just said before I lose
name, bro. How unoriginal.
Before I lose track. Free smoke. Hold up. Before I lose track. So I want to agree on what you did say. So yeah, that's what I think when we think about dominant fighters. Like, I think that too. I don't just look at who won the most, who beat the most people up. I also think about who had the impact outside of the cage too and in the community. You know what I mean? The example, you want to talk about example, you talk about who is the biggest influence, then that's a dominant right there. Yeah, I mean, you can win a fight, you can keep winning, but what's the point of winning if you're not active within the community? What's the point of winning if you're not setting some type of example? Championship mentality. That's what I look at.
Bro, is this the community award or is this the Sandbox award, bro?
Hey, this is overall. If you can, your fight speaks for itself. your fight speaks for you. So if you're a dominant fighter and on top of that you're active with the community, then you're damn right we're talking about a community along with the Sandbox, because this Streetbeefs West Coast is last time I checked.
Well, if we're checking on what the requirements are to be a champion, you got to interact with the community. It's part of the requirements to be a champion in the Streetbeefs West Coast. So why would it be different to be a Sandbox champion? You know, you got to interact with the community.
I just feel like it's a different criteria. They're trying to figure out the most dominant fighter, not like the most impactful. Like I said, I don't feel like it's a community award. I feel like it's a dominance award, bro. Like a fucking.
If we were gonna have a Streetbeefs West Coast Royal Rumble,
you're not giving the MVP and the NBA to a motherfucker that had the most impact off the court, bro. It was on the court, bro. You don't give a fuck what he did.
Well,
bro.
you are giving it both.
Like, that shit don't make no sense. Like,
well, that's what we're not. That's what we're not saying is just that.
winning MVPs without winning championships. Tell me that then.
That's what I'm saying. What'd you say?
I said, how are they winning MVPs without winning championships if we ain't giving it to what they do off the court too?
That don't even make sense to me, to be honest with you. But
because you could be a good player and your team could suck.
Bro,
I'm
just saying, like, you get the award based off what you do on the court, bro.
But I do agree with you, Street Smoke, because if we had a Royal Rumble and we put everybody in there and we said one guy got to come out of this, the Streetbeefs Sandbox champion, that, you know, it would still be Nasty Native in my fucking eyes. So it's like, I agree with it too. When we're talking about dominance, it's most dominant in the ring. Have no question about it. I think this guy would break my arms. I think this guy would fucking choke me out. I think this guy would knock me out.
That comment right there, that comment is facts, because Nasty Native, not only did he dominate the boxing division, he went into MMA, called out the Shinigami, laid out Shinigami and walked out, vacated the belt. That was the rawest shit I've ever seen, man. I mean, he just wins the MMA belt and he says, "Hey guys, so whoever wants to fight for this one, go ahead. You know, I don't care about it no more." Like,
yeah, man. I mean, you think about Nasty Native. Well, let me say what I've got to say, and then I'll elevate Bushido's comment. You think about Nasty Native, he's a dude that like is a student of the game, right? Like somebody who's committed. You think of somebody who just loves this and loves getting better. Nasty Native comes to mind. We met with him, we talked with him, and he was talking about how he trains, how he fights, how long he's been fighting, where he's been fighting at, how he is continuously looking at how to get better. He watches and reviews himself. So when we're talking about like a student to the game is somebody who is committed to like beating motherfuckers' ass, that's Nasty Native, and it shows in his matches, right? And that's why we're having this conversation about dominance. But I can't, because so Sandbox champion can also be a representative of the West Coast, because Bushido said that the Sandbox is the heart and soul of Streetbeefs West Coast, right? And so as we have this conversation, because we're setting the standard for what moves on next year, right? Because we're gonna return and have the same conversation. Who is the defining champion? Who is the defining person of Streetbeefs West Coast?
Yeah, I want to go back to Dizo's comment right there where he says Nasty Native was supposed to beat Shinigami. Everybody knew it. Exactly. This man Shinigami's been on ESPN. This man Shinigami slept somebody with a head kick. Yeah, I know he has a lot of losses lately and he's looking like he's getting washed up there, but it's Shinigami. This nigga Nasty Native was supposed to beat Shinigami. He wasn't supposed to knock him out before the camera could even watch the fucking video.
I don't agree with that either.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to knock him out that quick, though. That was a statement.
No,
and so let
me
lie.
I kind of saw that coming, though.
Did you?
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming. I'm not gonna lie.
let me return. Let me get back. Let me get back to it.
Yeah.
Because let me get back to it. So are we saying that Nasty Native is emblematic, right? Like is a representative, is a picture perfect version of who the best out of the West Coast is?
Yeah, that motherfucker's making his own belts at home right now. He's designing belts differently because he has so many. He gets to play with them at the moment. Come on now.
You also got to take and consider. Got to play this into fact too. So he showed up, and not only that, like after the first event here, he took what he knew what this community was about. He knew what not just Streetbeefs West Coast, but Streetbeefs overall. He knew what the community meant. And he took that community and did his own thing for a little bit. and then finally, that man is now running, the Texas Anarchy branch.
Right.
Like, come on, man.
Put him on the Hall of Fame.
That's actually pretty. Like, that's insane. That's insane.
He was doing that
but look,
before he even came to the West Coast.
All love to all of that shit. I respect love Nasty Native. Me and him are hella
What's
cool,
this man
but
gonna
what the
say,
fuck
man?
does that got to do with being in the sandbox, bro? I'm fucking lost. Somebody tell me, bro.
What do you? Hold up. Tell me where you're confused at, though.
I could be making belts at home.
So hold up.
Does that mean I'm like, I don't know?
He got him in the sandbox. You want him in the sandbox.
All the wins that he has is in the sandbox. I mean, if you're talking about sandbox,
like what? I was the one that said he should be. What the fuck?
Listen,
I'm saying.
Free Smoke.
What are you arguing?
I'm saying he should be based in the sandbox, based off his dominance in the sandbox.
Line it up.
Not based
Free
off
Smoke versus Battleborn.
Texas Anarchy. Not about him running fucking this or doing this outside the ring. Not about
that's
not about that to me. So that's why I'm like, I'm confused on how it's like even getting to like that point or like that topic where we're coming about.
It's the fact that he
so
took that energy.
Shit.
Like,
I bring up the belts because it's the fact that I can't do it and I'm jealous, so that makes him pretty dominant in my eyes too. I can't take a belt home and bedazzle that shit. I can't do that shit. He's the only person that can do that.
Listen, like I respect all of that, bro. I respect all of that. Whatever he does, all of that's cool as fuck. Outside the ring, cool. I know, he probably does community service. He probably going to donate to charity. So what the fuck does that got to do with fighting in that sandbox? So that's what I'm saying.
So
he's missing the point, but it's all good.
Hey, man, this was the whole trip in
the point just went like that over.
This was Battleborn and Free Smoke the whole trip in West Virginia too.
Hey, real quick, I think Free Smoke is the 2021 Sandbox champion for dominating a conversation. Jesus Christ, let someone else.
I'm done.
Quiet as a motherfucker. Y'all was over here talking about impact and being fucking
now we got this guy on the comments. Now we got this guy on the damn comments. Come on,
bro. First of all, Streetbender hop in here copying my fucking name. I already took from the jump and shit, trying to already ride my shit. And
I'm
then
not
this
a Sandbox
over
champ,
here
bro.
on mute, motherfucker over here on mute the whole time, bro. Talking about when you gonna let us talk, bro. You had a chance, you was on mute.
He needed a second because he needed a coat for a second.
Fuck. Hey, I just want to say though, El Coyote has to be brought up, right? It can't just be Nasty.
Oh yeah,
you're
right about that.
Let's do it.
Okay,
you're right about that. You're right about that.
Look at what Oni said. Look at what Oni said. Look at what Oni said.
Oni's irrelevant, so I didn't even read that comment.
I do have an answer for Oni.
Said.
Because there's a very good reason Oni's not in this conversation right now. If he was an active fighter, he would be. But your last fight that you won in the sandbox, Oni, was a year ago against Savage.
Hey, and hold on. On that part, and on that part, his last fight in Streetbeefs Westcoast, right, is against Free Smoke. And he's acting like he dominated that fight. That fight was a draw at best, man. I mean, I didn't see none of them, doing enough to win the fight, but I saw back and forth. Like, what?
I'm just talking about dominance. He has 2 sandbox fights. One was a year ago, and one was Mook, and he lost that fight. So if we're talking most dominant sandbox fighter, he's not. It's just not.
And on top
good fighter.
His boxing win was in California at Sharks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he only has 2 sandbox.
So when we're saying dominate, bro, what are we talking about here? Most wins, most vicious wins, like, you know what I mean? Like, what do we? You dominate in the
definition of dominant. That's what we mean, bro. When we say dominant, the definition of dominant.
That's why we're arguing because we don't know what. We can't agree on
Let's take time to define it. So
if you're 8-0, you're dominant, right? But if you're Nasty Native and you're just knocking everybody out, you're dominant too. So how do you gauge? Are they both equal dominance? Does two?
No,
I think it's wins. I think it's wins and how you get those wins.
Right. So earlier in the show, we were talking about 619 being a contender, and then we were talking about how he won, but it wasn't a clear victory, right? Like 619's matches, like people are debating on who won, who didn't win, but for Nasty Native, it was like Nasty Native won.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But how many knockouts does El Coyote have right now? Because it's got to be ridiculous.
See, now this is a guy that we got to bring into the conversation. See, if we're over here spitting about Nasty Native because we know he could break your arm, we know he could kick you in the face. But this man, Coyote, with his hands is lethal, right? We've seen Coyote hit the deck and come back up. We've seen Coyote. I mean, we've seen Coyote do it all. We've seen him in the Sandbox. We've seen him go represent the East Coast. I mean, the West Coast the way he's supposed to. Coyote is doing big things. Now, if we're looking at Coyote in the Sandbox, because this is where we have to compare their records and how much they fought in the Sandbox, he has just as many fights as freaking Nasty Native does. So that's a closer conversation than 619 to me.
619 is a great boxer. You know, he's great technical boxer. You know, he did. And you know what? KT did make a good point that those guys that he fought, he was supposed to dominate. I mean, to be real. I mean, reality is Big Daddy Williams at 619, it wasn't kind of, it wasn't really an even weight, right?
Right.
I mean, it looked like he was a little bit heavier. So every other person.
Oh, yeah. Coyote might be it, guys. While I'm looking at this man took out Killshot.
Oh.
This man, and this is all in this year in the Sandbox. Coyote took out Killshot. Took out Big Daddy Williams twice.
Right.
Twice. Yeah.
Took out Mr. Man. And then went out to the fucking East Coast yard and took out fucking the Wolverine himself.
The head guy.
And the Legion fight.
Hey,
Legion fight's insane.
That wasn't in the Sandbox.
The Legion fight doesn't count, bro.
Yeah, that's not in the Sandbox. Neither does the Wolverine fight. The fourth.
Wait, hold up. So Battleborn can talk about people's charity, but we can't talk about all their fights all year.
I'm kind of confused on that part. I'm confused because look, this is just gonna be my argument too. Like when you think about Coyote, you still got to think about what he does in his weight class. So yeah, that does include other fights, you know, within his weight class. So. No. In his weight class, he did dominate his division. I mean, to be real, he dominated his division. He fought everybody at equal weight, like that.
I mean, let's say this right now.
So, because I do think that this conversation is definitely leaning toward the heavyweight fighters, right? Or
right.
I think
they're easier to look as more scarier knockouts. They're bigger guys. You know, of course, you're gonna look at heavyweight Spurs. But yeah, you know, but it's a good point.
If we're talking about clear
925,
925 is up there. 925 is up there. He was on my
that's for sure. That's for sure. Against Darkness, you know, that was
against
another one.
Everybody.
Another one too. I don't think y'all are thinking of is a what's his name?
Messiah.
Where the Ponce, bro?
Oh, Messiah though. Messiah.
Has he had any fights in the Sandbox?
He's not in the Sandbox.
Come on, y'all stay on top, man.
Look, I thought we all are the Sandbox. I thought the West Coast is the Sandbox.
The Sandbox is that little ass cage. Sandbox is the little dog pen that we're fighting over there in Vegas, bro. That's that one arena champion. Yeah, Sandbox champion.
I like that energy. The Sandbox is in here, guys.
Right.
the
Sandbox showed up to the East Coast.
Yeah. 1 second, go.
Oh no, the Sandbox showed up to the East Coast. It would have been a little less slippery in the ring. No, man. When we're talking about these guys, it's definitely going to be between Nasty Native, Coyote, or 619. Now, if you brought Coyote, 925 pride's up there, but listen, when we're talking about 925 and his dominance, it's in wrestling. We don't. If 925 stood up with Darkness for a little bit. 925 stood up with Darkness for a little bit. It didn't go his way for long, and he wrestled. He stood up with Heart of Stone for a little bit. It didn't go his way for long, so he wrestled. So his thing is wrestling. So 925 does have something that he can
but it's pretty. That's pretty dominant, though.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's dominant wrestling, but Nasty Native can wrestle. He can fight.
He was beating. I thought he was beating Darkness on the feet. I thought him and Heart of Stone were just playing fucking, feint game the whole time.
His wrestling isn't as dominant. I mean, I'm saying his striking isn't as dominant as his wrestling is. His wrestling is definitely his main factor.
But I'm not going off of that. I'm just going off him being dominant in general. The dude's getting first round fucking finishes.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like you blink.
That's a first round.
It's like Khabib. Yeah, it's
like you blink and it's done. It's done.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, for sure.
I remember.
And I think that that speaks to his dominance, right? Like,
the speed is
the
factor.
Might have a limited skill set, but understanding that he's young and then he can always position himself to where he is,
he ain't even limited, man.
I'm not saying he's limited. I'm just saying he's definitely better at wrestling. It's not that he's limited. He's just definitely better at wrestling than he is striking. When we talk about Nasty Native, he's good at both. If we talk about 619, he has boxing in the bag where he has it figured out.
But you still got to. I still got to look at it.
So okay, let me say this. But like knowing that you might not have the best striking and always positioning your opponent to get into a position where that's technical, that's sheer skill, that's that's dominance in so
that's
many
for you MMA guys to talk about.
So
that's you MMA guys over there.
This is how I see it though. With 619's case is I haven't seen enough activity with his weight, like guys, his weight enough to be like, okay, this is what. Okay, name fighters, go. That were like evenly his weight, go.
But for what? Go ahead and do your thing.
Okay. So all right. So like I'm saying, with 925 within his weight division and El Coyote within his weight division, they're dominating with they're standing up with their guys their weight. It's a clear cut finish. I mean, you can't really. There's no excuse. You can't say, hey, he was just heavier than me or something. You can't say that. Like
I do
with
agree
those
with
two guys.
I agree with that 100% because we run into the same problem with Nasty Native. Like Diesel was saying, we knew he was going to win the Shinigami fight. We knew that. With 925 and all them, these are matchups that are made, and we're like, oh, we don't know who's going to win until they come out and show us how dominant they are. El Coyote has showed us on multiple occasions, stop fucking with me, I'm a dominant man. 925 on the same thing, stop fucking with me, I'm a dominant man. Who you want in front of me? I'm going to slap him around. So really, if we are talking about most dominant and made their statements, Nasty Native and 619 do have a couple fights on their record where we knew way ahead of time they were going to whoop the shit out of you. You know what I mean? And not to say anything like bad about them, but people have outpointed 619. 619 has lost a round in the sandbox. That has happened before. 619 has lost a round in the sandbox before, right? Nasty Native has not. Coyote has lost a round in the sandbox before, but closely lost a round in the sandbox before. 925 has not.
I don't even think he's lost a round in the sandbox.
I believe he has.
I mean, dominance to me is most finishes, and I know you guys are saying shit about the sandbox. Well, yeah, most wins, most finishes. Nobody has it compared to El Coyote. I don't know what fights you want to count and not count, but
Coyote taking kill shot off the map is a fucking big fight.
Yeah, he has fights in the sandbox either way too.
Kill shot was a beast, guys. And Coyote took that man out.
And you also got to think about it too. He fought Big Daddy Williams twice and beat him twice. Big Daddy Williams is not just a regular guy. He fought at that time. He was, Big Daddy Williams was a champion at the time. He fought him twice. Like that's right there. That's clear cut. But
so then it comes to
he dominated his division from that.
Then it comes to what do you want to call the most dominant fighter? Do you believe Streetbeefs is more made for MMA fighters? Or you mean it's made for boxers? Because
it's made for fighters.
I think it shouldn't matter.
BBW in 2018 or 2020 or some shit. Last year.
Yeah, he OG.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. It's the 2021.
He beat BDW
this
year.
Counting this year.
Yeah, he beat BDW once this year. Kill shot.
Yeah.
11 months ago.
BDW, I think he fought once this year, but I'm saying the other one it was last year.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was almost a full year ago.
I wish someone could have pulled it up because I had a little bit of a list made of like the nominees I had in mind and shit. But I wish somebody could just sit there and pull up right now. Like I didn't even think about. I've been working all week, but I should have done that, and so people could have just had like an idea more. So we could have had like more of an idea of who to really like base this off of, and who's like really like a nominee for it and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, with all the fights that we had in the sandbox, there's still not really that many that speak out more than theirs. To be real with
guys,
you,
are we not going to talk about
events all the time?
Are we not going to talk about Wedo?
Nah.
We can add him, but here's the thing.
He only has losses outside the sandbox. The only fights he has in the sandbox are brutal knockouts.
That is true. You're right.
The only fights he has in the sandbox is Jet and Dangerous, and that's this year.
Dangerous knockout, yeah. You're right about that part.
And that's what I wanted to highlight, man. It sounds like that's what I wanted to highlight, man. It sounds like a lot of our conversation is the heavyweight division, because I'm pretty sure there's some other people in some other weight classes that have been dominating strongly as well.
Well, 925 definitely high in the conversation.
Mook
has
should
one
be in
fight
this conversation, and does he?
Mook hasn't fought in the Sandbox in a year.
He has
bro.
one with Oni. That's it. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it
he
was
only
a
has
well way
one
to
win
go.
in the Sandbox.
So then we are limited to those people that were those big names that we are mentioning. Pretty much
Heavyweights
so.
on the Sandbox this year.
You know what? It's I mean, hey, low-key Streetbender has been active. Streetbender has been very active.
Not
But you have
dominant.
draws,
Hey, I've been
Yeah,
active,
you
but
have
not
draws.
You've been getting. You haven't been okay. You haven't say like nasty native dominant, but at the same time, Streetbender has been getting better and better with every single fight. Every fight has not been the same Streetbender, and
Okay, so
at the same time,
most improved. We got it.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
That goes for most improved. That's for the award show. But that's for
I actually do. I do. If we're talking about most improved, then hey, that conversation goes between KT and Bender, in my opinion.
Okay, so just
I love that
I
award.
think the top three right now. I think the top three on what we've kind of dwindled down so far is Nasty Native, Coyote,
Fact.
and 925.
Fact.
Nasty Native.
And we're not going to talk about Wedo. We're not going to talk about
Wedo's in there.
two knockouts.
No.
No?
One.
Free smoke.
No, man.
One.
Nah, Jets 11 months ago. I'm right here
Hey,
on
he
YouTube right now.
He was supposed to win, though.
Let my guy Tunde talk.
No. I want to hear you talk, Free Smoke. Why no Wedo?
What you want to hear?
Why no Wedo?
I could have swore he's only fought Dangerous this year, right? He's only had.
Nah,
that one
11 months
thing
ago
with
he had
Dangerous.
Jet. 11 months ago he had Jet.
That's what.
So pretty much
that's what I'm
last
saying.
year.
I
Yeah.
wish somebody had a list. Okay, if it was in 2021, bro, I count that fight. If it was not in 2021, I'm not counting that fight, bro.
Yeah, it was in
11 months
2021.
How many months are in a year, fool? Shit.
I remember training with. I remember before Wedo came out to this fight, and it was in 2021. It's almost 2022, y'all.
If Wedo is 2-0 this year in 2021 with those two finishes, then yeah, he'd be up there. But like I said, I think
oh shit! Someone just got shot.
I think what we've kind of dwindled it down to is those three that I named a second ago: 925, Nasty Native, and Coyote. Is what it seems like.
Are they all 2-0 in the Sandbox or what?
Shit, I'm
Coyote.
I'm heavily leaning on Coyote. That's for sure. Dominant fighter in his division, regardless, and he did dominate Sandbox too. I mean, hey, my choice is still with Coyote.
I mean, Free Smoke has the draw with Gallo, but his couple of fights coming into the year were fucking fire. He was getting up there for that talk of fighter of the year if he didn't have the draw.
I think personally, I could be a nominee 100%. I don't think I would get it, but bro, if I would have beat Gallo that day, easily, I'm fucking
okay,
top three, bro, easily.
Wedo knocked out.
You don't want to have this conversation, Free Smoke. You don't want to have this conversation.
All right,
Hey,
that's funny. So technicality, November 16th, 2020, that's when the Jet Wedo fight was. So technically, that was a year ago. Not fully yet.
But it's not this year.
So then definitely Coyote.
Yeah,
Nasty
so that was in
Native,
2020.
that's a 9-5 is the top three in my opinion. But I think Coyote has displayed dominance in the Sandbox for sure.
Yeah,
if you want to just restrict just pure Sandbox, all right. I think Coyote did dominate the Sandbox. I think he's been a little bit more active, than Nasty Native. I thought
definitely more active than 925. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But 925 is a dominant motherfucker, man. If we're talking about dominance and people into deep waters, yeah, Nasty Native has that one quick finish, but he also has a long ass fight with Dub. 925 goes in there and gets out. Yeah. Honestly, if you're gonna ask me right now, it's gonna be 925. That man gets in there and gets out. He's a beast.
Bro got a fight at 8:30, and then he got to change his baby's diaper at 8:35.
I remember. I just got. I think it was when I first fought Diesel. I came out and I was taking off my gloves, taking off my wraps. And I think he was gonna fight. And I come back and I'm like, "Hey, bro, did you fight already?" He's like, "Are you kidding me, dude?" Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh, well, sorry, dude. Like, shit." I didn't tell you go for a first round fucking finish, man. Damn. Every time I blink, he's done.
Bro,
Coyote's 3 wins this year, and 925 Pride is 1 with the Darkness.
3 wins in the Sandbox or what?
Yeah.
What? I thought he had 2.
Did he have 2? Oh yeah, he had a quick ass he has so many fights that he does so quickly that I don't even remember he fought the dude. Yeah, he has a quick ass submission where he was just sitting there.
Yeah.
Let me go pull 925 stats up.
So this is how I feel, man. I'm going with 925 in my vote. The reason why is because bro came out of literal nowhere and then came through and then had people tapping out in 30 seconds or less.
Oh yeah, and the way he slammed extra on his head.
Bros has the least amount of fight time too, bro. There's probably
I
like
remember
a round of fight time, maybe like besides the Heart of Stone fight, which don't even fucking count. In the Sandbox, I think he's only been in the cage for like fucking a minute long, maybe.
I'm about to look right now. You got a 2-minute 18 video and a 3-minute video. The nigga has 5 minutes in the cage.
But how long are intros?
Like, and then all the intros and stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
60 seconds.
Exactly. So his match is probably 60. So he probably has like literally 2 minutes.
His highlight film would be like that.
Yeah, like 2 minutes tops, bro. Like around in the Sandbox.
And for that reason, like the sheer fact that bro just got in here this year, just literally came out of nowhere, and you speak to him because we're talking about dominance, and y'all already know like the intros is my whole little situation. You talk about intros, you talk about dominance. He has a mental game from jump, from beginning to end, and he's like, look, I'm beating your ass. That's clear. I'm gonna beat your ass.
He did have a lot of fighters talking. Like he got under a lot of fighters' skin. He did. I mean, he ran the mental game. You're right.
I cannot forget the man looking at darkness and saying, "Listen, bro, I'm gonna take you in that cage. I'm gonna whoop your ass in the first minute."
Bro, he said
his ass gets up and says, "1 minute."
I'm gonna head kick you. Head kicked him.
Got up and said under 1 minute. He was timing it in his own head. He said, "I'm counting. That was 1 minute. I beat your ass for 1 minute. I'm done. Let's go."
And so I'm shout out to Darkness. It's all love, Darkness. But like for that reason, I just want to say, man, my hat. If I could put my hat in the ring, it's 925 for me, man.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go the same way with it. 925 Pride has a very dominant style. I don't see nobody in his division beating him, and I haven't seen enough of Nasty Native MMA, and he's done boxing, so.
I might go now. Fuck, dude. I would probably say 925 probably edges Nasty Native just by a little bit, just because of the fact that Nasty had that fight with Dub that was like fucking 20 minutes, 30 minutes long. It felt like, and so
it was a long fight.
That's not even due to Nasty Native's fault. That's like his Dub fights. All Dub fights are decisions. You know what I'm saying? So basically, if you fight Dub, you're gonna be fighting a slow paced technical fight. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna be in there for some rounds. You know what I mean? But so I would say 925 probably edges him out personally.
Because 925 doesn't.
Weddle Ponce's up there, man.
925 will not. Oh shit! We cannot.
Weddle Ponce has.
I said.
How many fights does he have in the Sandbox?
Just dismiss my shit, bro.
How many fights does he have in the Sandbox? He has 2, I think. Right?
Yeah, and he won the title. First round finish against Wama.
Off injury though.
Right, that's the thing that you gotta play into consideration too. Like we didn't see anything delayed wise.
Weddle Ponce versus Smokey was a banger. Weddle Ponce.
Yeah, no, it was a great fight.
But how did the first round look for Weddle Ponce and Wama before the injury?
Yeah,
no, of course it did look a little bit more dominant on the Weddle Ponce's side, of course.
Yeah,
you still got to think about activity.
Wama's my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
That's my fucking dude. So like I'm just being.
You know how hard it was to ref that fucking thing, bro?
Yeah, Weddle Ponce only has the 2 fights though. Weddle Ponce has the 2 fights in the Sandbox, and one it's unfortunate, but Wama did get injured. That's why that fight stopped. So we can't really call him the most dominant fighter.
Because you still, because El Coyote still has more.
I think El
Coyote has been more active, and 925 has more fights in the Sandbox. I don't know, man. I want to add him in there because he's a great guy. He's a great fighter, but I just feel like he hasn't done enough this year to be up here yet. Now in the year coming, can he defend his belt multiple times? How long can he stay on that throne? That will establish dominance in the following year, and we can have this conversation again. But I don't feel like he's done enough within this year to be called the dominant in the Sandbox, at least. But he's a great fighter, though. It doesn't dismiss that.
I do think throughout the guys we are picking, 925 is the most clear, because if we're talking about Nasty Native not getting it because he has a long fight with Dub, Coyote has a couple long fights, right? Yeah, his fights aren't aren't instant knockouts.
Well,
but
in
he
the
does
sandbox,
have.
in the sandbox, they're not long ones. In the sandbox, his fights aren't really long ones. If you look at them, I mean,
How long
what
His
did he
fight
do?
with
He
BBW?
whooped
his
Mr.
fight with
Man's
Snub was probably
ass.
the
Right, but
Yeah,
I forgot. I
he
completely
whooped-
forgot
he
about that
whooped
Mr. Man fight.
ass, and then him and BDW had a war, but I think he finished BDW.
Yeah, I think he finished him
He
too.
twice,
yeah.
I think it was.
So if we're talking about people
Twice it was, but
don't go to the ring,
still,
and
regardless,
he's
his
boxing.
power.
He can't just take you down and beat your ass like 925 can do. Take you down and submit you. He's boxing, so he has to technically beat these guys. He has to beat them with his mind.
you got to beat their face in.
Also,
it's-
you gotta put into consideration who people are fighting. So El Coyote
Right.
looks the most dominant while fighting people that were dominant before they fought him.
Right.
But the
'cause
people
Coyote
925 fought like they weren't dominant before him. So he dominated people that already.
Right,
had
let's
been
be honest here.
dominant.
Let's be honest
It's
here. We saw
competition,
Darkness get
right.
slammed on. We
Experience
saw
wise.
Darkness get slammed on his dick 30 times by Diesel. If we're being honest here, Darkness was getting slammed that whole fight. We knew it was going to happen because Diesel was doing it to him. So
Right,
we
Kilo
knew
whooped his
that was
ass
gonna
too.
happen.
So it's like it's not.
We knew that was going to happen. Right, so that's like, yeah, he's a good fighter in Street Beefs West Coast, but it's not our most elite fighter in Street Beefs West Coast. Now, when you talk about Coyote, Killshot was an elite fighter when he fought
There
him.
we go.
BDW was an elite fighter when he fought him.
Yep.
Coyote continues to take on the biggest and baddest fighters, and he continues
Yep.
to knock them the fuck
Yeah,
out.
who wants to box Legion? I know it wasn't in the sandbox, but who wants to box that guy?
Right.
He's huge, yo. Yo, he got mad at me at the sat when I was repping his Sat Lee fight. I was like, "Yo, bro, hold on." like, I'm so skinny today, bro. Like, hold on.
So,
That dude's huge, man. He's huge.
so I am in a twist because I do want to say 925, but at the same time, in my head, it's also a Coyote, bro, because Coyote takes on the biggest fight and takes him out, man. I believe that we can find somebody in 925 weight class that has a wrestling skill like 925. I believe if we're looking at the guy that choked out Matt the Maniac. I want to see them two fight. The guy that choked out Matt the Maniac out here in Arizona quick as shit. I want to see him versus 925 because both those guys can wrestle. It's a better skill set.
Asian Sensation.
Yeah,
Asian Sensation.
I want to see them.
Competition.
Yeah, he was actually supposed to fight for that belt too before 925 came through and was just fucking wrecking shot, bro.
So 925 is competition he still has to face because Asian Sensation choked out Matt the Maniac flying choke quick as fuck. And I know y'all didn't see it.
No.
But I saw it. I was there. That man did that like out of nowhere on some Charles Oliveira shit.
And so, yeah, I agree that so something that we didn't acknowledge in the beginning was, dominance against dominant fighters.
Right.
And in that conversation, and when you include that aspect of it, 925's contenders weren't too like it doesn't take away from his performance. Like I think there's still room for growth, but Coyote.
So like strength of schedule.
Yes, right. But Coyote, and Nasty Native have fought some pretty dominant people. Have fought some pretty strong folks, and so to me, and I know we can't count this one because it wasn't in the sandbox, but like being able to hang up there with Wolverine and like make it look easy is something that's not lost on me. That was a really good display of force.
But at the same time, and nobody wanted to fight Nasty Native out there. Nobody.
That's another good point.
Nobody wanted to fight him. He was there. Nobody wanted to fight him.
Anybody want to fight Nasty Native? Nah.
But if El Coyote and Nasty Native box, I think it will be closer than people think.
I think El Coyote might take that, even though they're 100 pounds different. If you got
that can help.
If you got him out of catchweight fight, if you got out of catchweight fight, I think Coyote got a little bit more boxing skill than Nasty Native. But if it was an MMA fight, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, MMA fight's not even a question.
Yeah. So it just depends on what sport we're talking about at this point, and that's the age-long question, right? What sport's going to be more dominant? Who's going to win the award this year for Athlete of the Year? Is it going to be MMA or fucking boxing? And if you're honestly asking me, I think it's boxing because Coyote, if you've ever seen him at an event, been at the Sandbox, he don't know who he's fighting. He'll just take whoever, and he puts him down. And he puts him down.
Nasty Native's like that though too.
Yeah. Nasty Native knew he was fighting Shinigami, put in a 3-month camp for it.
Yeah, but he was there a fucking year prior and was
Yeah.
fighting whoever. So
That was a year ago. We're talking about this year.
no, I know, but I'm saying this whole time he's fighting whoever.
Nasty
It just so
Native's a
happened
beast.
that was
It's
planned.
just if we're looking at this and we're looking at the dude that got put up against the most adversity this year and said, "Fuck your adversity, I'm adversity." It's Coyote. He said, "I'm a problem. Fuck your problems, I'm a problem."
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So it is cool. Like Smoke was saying earlier, all that decorating your belt and handing it to other people's stuff, maybe it doesn't matter because it doesn't. At the end of the day, he's done all that. But if Coyote had the same opportunities, right, if they were just called title fights, he could have racked up that same amount. I mean, he has more wins than most any Streetbeefs West Coast fighter has. So.
Right. But you have to put in consideration, no one is signing up to fight Nasty Native.
No one's setting up to fight Coyote right now. Listen, guys. Listen, guys. Who's signing up to fight Coyote right now? Tell me. Who wants to fight Coyote right now? Nobody. You know what's going to happen in that division? They're going to wait for Coyote to
Wolverine ass whooping, nobody does.
Yeah, Coyote's going to say, "Hey, you guys can have my belt," and then people will start getting active in that division again. Ain't nobody wants to fight Coyote right now. You've seen it, bro. Everybody wants to drop down to featherweight now. They all want to be 155ers because they don't want to fuck with that man.
Yeah, live stream. I'm on a live stream.
And we're talking Sadly, Legion, and all them people that are going to fight Coyote. Sadly, Eddie Goodnight, they both said they want to be featherweights now.
Wow.
Why? Anybody answer that question? Why? Because they would only have to fight Blanco, Karma, Legion, Coyote. It's not that bad. I mean,
well, I literally left MMA to not fight Nasty Native, so.
So it's like the same thing, right? It's like the same thing.
He said, that's the reason why I boxed, actually. That's
Now he's in MMA, though.
Consideration.
Now you're in MMA, and you're back at boxing. So, yeah, he has a dominant factor to him as well, man.
So let's do this. We hit the 1 hour mark, and so let's get closer to closing. If you are undecided, that's cool. If you have a decision, that's also cool. But I'm gonna give y'all 30 seconds, and then I'm gonna ask y'all who y'all think taking it.
Oh man,
30 seconds. Don't say it just yet.
Can we do
Siri,
one
give me 30
boxing and
seconds.
one MMA?
No, I mean, do we have to? We don't have two
Cut
belts.
the belt
We
in
don't
half. No, I'm just kidding.
we don't have two belts.
All right, I'm buying another one. No, I'm just
man,
kidding.
and all these guys got belts, so they don't need another one. It won't hurt their feelings if they don't get one.
Yeah, for real.
That's
We're
what
talking
I'm
about
saying.
two
They can
champs.
share it, bro. They can share it, man. What the fuck?
Oh man.
Shit, I mean, like I said, I would say right now, since after talking over everything, it's a toss up for me: 925 or Coyote.
I'm gonna say Coyote, man. If we're talking challengers that he's faced, Coyote, right? Because Coyote's gone into fights that we don't know how they're gonna go when it starts until it's finished.
Streetbender.
So, all right. So you guys really made it. So it's dominance, and it has to be in the sandbox. And then, I mean, to me, it's wheedled down to Nasty Native and El Coyote. And I would say just the fact of, like, we won't just put fights into consideration because nobody can pick how many fights they can get, right? Or if they can get there. So I put just the fact that Nasty Native can dominate in both sports, can get out of there quickly. And like I said, if they fought, I think it would be a good match. Weight aside, they're both dominant boxers, and it would be a great fight. So I'm going to give it to Nasty Native.
Well, Streetbender, I got to kind of play devil advocate here because if you're saying Coyote, so many pounds lighter than Nasty Native could stand in a boxing ring with Nasty Native, that's speaking to Coyote's dominance right there.
But that's not his sport, though. The fact that it's even close and it's not his sport. I mean,
yeah. I mean, Nasty Native is somebody that's doing two sports. He did them both, and he dominated both of them, right?
Exactly.
So now, if we are split between 925 and Coyote because of their dominance, we have a guy that did both of them and dominated both the sports.
Right.
So
You see, and this is why, because I want to make an argument for 925 to be 100, but all things considered, they all have done some miraculous things in this branch that puts them in the contention for Sandbox champion.
I'm going Coyote, man. I'm sticking with Coyote. If I'm looking at the middle of the ring and Coyote's lined up across me, man, I'm scared of shit.
Dang, I don't know who I could go with, but No, I don't know who I could go with because I said you can be in this. You don't have to have a decision. So yeah, I'm a.
Bro, you better
keep my
take a side, man.
Hey, I'd rather get choked out
My
than
bad, lost
knocked out all
connection.
day long. I'd rather get choked out than knocked out all day long. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Right, you're gonna get the best sleep of your life.
Right. I don't know. I'd rather get choked out than take the brain damage.
Yeah.
Battleborn, 925 Coyote or Nasty Native. Who's Sandbox champ?
You see
Okay,
who it is? I
Battleborn
got my
frozen.
name right there.
I'm definitely going Coyote, man.
I want to say Coyote too, but like, but Nasty Native got 2 belts. This dude
Hey, you gotta say Nasty Native and make the tiebreaker Battleborn.
Hey, Coyote can easily move down or up a weight class and have 2 belts too. Who's gonna face him?
But not,
Shout out to
not in
Streetbender.
MMA,
I
though.
appreciate that, bro.
Yeah,
three.
who's gonna? Yeah, Coyote has 3 weight classes. He could surely dominate. Let's put it like this: if you saw Coyote in the ring with 619, who do you think's winning?
Coyote.
Coyote, and that's one of our guys that were in the dominant conversation. But Coyote would take out 619.
So would Nasty Native.
Not as hard as Coyote.
But if the argument is still about the competition,
Nasty Native
it's
didn't
still
take out
Coyote.
Dub. Nasty Native did not knock out Dub. That disappointed me.
Exactly.
He's
Exactly.
6'7".
It sounded like
Come on.
KT had money on that fight.
Come on, man. That disappointed me.
That is a big
KT
ass
had money on
man.
that fight.
Huh?
He's 6'7".
Yeah, I know it. The harder you ever heard, the taller they are, the harder they fall. His chin is up in the air.
It's hard to reach it.
If you look at Dub's boxing style with Nasty Native should have knocked that man out. If you ever put Dub in the ring with a Coyote and his chin was up in the air, perfect example. Mr. Man, chin up in the air, 6'4". Boom, knocked on his ass.
Yeah, but he's not a boxer.
All right. So we're at the point of the show where we're calling Dub a good boxer. Dub's just starting. Dub's just starting a couple years ago. Nasty Native.
I did not say that, bro. I did not say that.
Nasty Native is way more experienced than Dub. Dub's a scrapper. Dub can scrap. He can fight, but he's definitely not in
Dub
terms
can
of
scrap,
boxer.
bro, nah, bro. Like I said, Dub.
KT, why you coming after everybody, bro?
I'm just saying, man, we talking real champions here. This is a real award, and we talking people that are going to really knock the heads off.
Yeah,
I'm
Dub's gonna line up a fight with you.
I'm going with Coyote. That's my decision.
Wait, are you saying El Coyote knocks out Dub?
I'm saying El Coyote knocks out anybody he puts his mind to knocking out. That's his mentality, and that's how he does. And when is he proved you different?
Oh,
listen, what's it take to sit crazy man beating W on his ass? Listen, twice. Twice.
You know,
he didn't put him out.
my vote is still with El Coyote as well, man. I mean, I'm going with that choice still.
Yeah, I'm all El Coyote all the way.
He established it. He did establish because he did fight competition. He fought guys. You know, he didn't fight easy guys. Like if you want to label it, he didn't have the easy way out of anything. He grinded for everything and established dominance.
Y'all remember when we thought Killshot was going to take over Streetbeefs Westcoast? We thought this was the dopest shit we've ever seen. Yeah, that man got killed.
I never thought that.
Got killed.
I never thought that.
He said, "I never thought that."
Came back and banged his ass. Yeah, no.
Free Smoke was busy thinking that Free Smoke was going to be the greatest.
Yeah, Killshot shooting.
I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you who the fuck Killshot is, bro.
Exactly, because he fought Coyote. That's why you can't tell me who Killshot is anymore. He fought Coyote and he ain't King Max Pence.
I can name all of Coyote's opponents, bro, but I don't know who the fuck Killshot is. So I don't know who Killshot was supposed to take over or what division he was taking over. I don't know.
All right. It sounds pretty clear. It's El Coyote, bro. I got shit I gotta do. I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good one.
All right, y'all. We appreciate you. Thanks for coming through, man. Hey, this was fun.
He couldn't get the Nasty Native in there. He was here just to put the word in Native, man.
All right, you got the biggest shit talkers all talking about one topic. Yeah, what you expect was gonna happen, man.
He was like, "Where's my turn?"
Atomic bomb.
I'd be appalled
sorry.
sometimes, man.
Shit.
I said, who the fuck is that guy?
I just
Man.
got.
What the fuck?
I just had to be serious for a second, man.
We
God.
we getting close to the end of the show, y'all. I appreciate y'all for hopping on. Thank you so much. I gotta wrap a few things up, let people know to tune into a couple things, do the whole little subscriber pitch. So thank y'all, man. Thanks again for coming through.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man. Shoot.
No problem. Hey, shout out to Free Smoke for being here while at work. Bro literally was working with us. But yeah, man, it's all love. It's always all love when we get on the show, man. So first and foremost, thank you all for tuning in. Again, I want to shout out Streetbeefs Westcoast for letting us, take over their channel. If you are at Streetbeefs Westcoast and you are viewing for the first time, this is Hard to Fight. We like to feature fighters. We like to give fighters space to talk about things that's going on in Street Beef, whether it be East, West, or Fire Chicken's branch. I am forgetting it. Please don't hate me.
Scrapyard.
Scrapyard. There we go. We love to. That's the Wizard. If y'all hear the voices in the back, that's Wizard. We love to give everybody the space to have these conversations and discussions. And so we're thankful for everybody to come through. Again, I want to highlight and let y'all know the award show is coming. You're not going to want to miss this. If you tuned in last year, you can still check it out on our channel. We did a live. We honored folks. We were highlighting different fighters and fights. The Wizard is going to work his magic and give us transitions and promos. And I mean, I feel like that's enough to watch it, to see what the Wizard cooks up. And that's going to be December 26th, not the 27th, December 26th, the day after Christmas. That's what I want you to think. We're going to have our second annual Hard to Fight Award show. It's comprised of Streetbeefs East Coast people, fighters, representatives, etc., so on. Streetbeefs West Coast people, fighters, representatives, and so on. And everybody's Sunshine's a part of that, and everybody's getting together to put in their votes for who they think were the best people in each of the categories. And so we'll be making those announcements sooner than later. But I just want to say thank you all for tuning in. If you have not hit the subscribe button, please submit your name to Alex and Martin so that they can set up a beef match between us. And with that, please dig down and double down on your commitments and keep your heart in the mud and fight. Check you later.